So this is crucial for all of us to understand. Nothing is ever to be created. It is only to be manifested. What does that mean? That does mean that your focus should not be on trying to create new circumstances, trying to create your desired reality, trying to create the desired version of yourself. No, when you truly understand what is meant by this simple and short statement, then you will understand that actually your desired circumstances, the desired version of you that has the desired manifestations and the desired circumstances is already created, right? Because nothing is ever to be created. Creation is finished. We will dive into this within this video, right? That your desired reality, your desired circumstances, they do exist, but you're currently not aligned with them. That is why they're not projected on the outside. That's why they're not externalized. That's why you do not get them mirrored back from the life circumstances. So in this video, we're going to look at what you need to do to align yourself to that version of you which is already in existence, because you can't create that new version of you that is there, so that you also experience the circumstances of this version of you that already comes with the circumstances that you desire. So again, you cannot create something, you can only manifest it, which is a very freeing understanding, because that frees you up from this constant, attempt to, I need to become this, I need to create this, I need to get this is in the future, this is not here yet. No, we shift our paradigm to wait, this version of me exists right now, and we want to embody it and see the world through the lens of the version of ourselves that already has our desired circumstances. So let us dive into this video right now. This will be extremely important so that you can stop trying to get and trying to do something on the outside. So this is what Neville Goddard said, right? Creation is finished. Everything that could have ever been created, that will ever be created, right? That could ever be created in the future, everything exists here and now. In other words, all that you ever have been and ever will be, in fact, all that mankind ever was or ever will be, exists now. And again, if that's not graspable for you at this point in the presentation, stick with me, because it will make sense as we go through the slides. So this is what is meant by creation and the statement that creation is finished. It means nothing is ever to be created, it is only to be manifested, as we learned in the beginning. What is called creativeness is only becoming aware of what already is. And that is what we do when we imagine, right? If you have the desire to manifest this relationship, this partner, the health, more financial abundance, the cool part about manifestation is that, again, we're not trying to create this version of us. No, by us imagining ourselves into that version, we fuse with it, but we become aware of it. We shift our consciousness and we start to see the world through the lens of the desired version of us, which does exist already, which already has those desired circumstances. Right? You simply become aware of increasing portions of that which already is. Right? And where is that finished creation? It's within you. It's within not your physical body, it is within your awareness of being. It is within your imagination. Because you can close your eyes and you can be at any time, at any place. And you can be whoever you want to be, because you are it already in your imagination. And there will be things that are more relevant to you. Maybe it is not relevant for you to be a sumo ringer. Maybe it's not relevant for you to be a singer. Maybe it is not relevant for you to be a movie star. Maybe it's relevant for you to be an author. Maybe it is relevant for you to be a successful business owner, right? You need to follow your desires. Everybody in this world has like subjective different desires, and those are like the guides guiding your blueprint, right? That's your blueprint of your life, whatever you desire. That's your compass, so to speak. That's like what is now relevant for you and what is already there for you. Otherwise, you could not desire it. So every desire you perceive is simply an unoccupied state, which is already within creation, because creation is finished. So the cool part is, as soon as you have a desire, that is the understanding you come through when you stay a little bit in those teachings. You understand, oh, I have the desire now to have my own business. Maybe you have a job for a while, but you really feel this arising desire in you. You want to be self-employed. You want to have your own business. You want to not have a boss. You want to have your own money. The fact alone that you can desire that state, that reality, means that it exists. It is currently only, so to speak, out of view. Right? It's another portion of creation. Right? You're right now experiencing this current portion of creation where you have the current circumstances, But this portion of creation where you have your own business, your own money coming in, you're self-employed, you're not working in your current job, that's also there. So you don't need to create that and ask yourself, how can I make this happen? How can I create this? No. We need to, again, align with it. So how do we do that? We're going to talk about that through the video. So the whole of creation exists in you, in your awareness, and it is your destiny to become increasingly aware of its infinite wonders and to experience ever greater and grander portions of it. Right? If creation is finished and all events are taking place now, the question that springs naturally to our mind is, what determines your time track? Right? So what determines what I experience? If everything is already there, if everything is already created, well, what determines how my life looks like, how my circumstances looks like, right? What determines the events which you encounter? And the answer is your concept of yourself. In simple terms, the state we are in, what we are identified with. If you're identified with, I'm this person living here, having this job, making only this much money, making more is difficult, I'm lonely, I'm single, I'm not with my desired partner, that's your life, that's your state, that is what you believe to be true, that is what the mirror of life reflects back to you. Then you're dissatisfied, you feel triggered by what is showing up, you have a new desire. You say, I would like to be this. I actually desire to have new circumstances. I want to be partnered. I want to have more money in my life, right? So therefore, the fact alone that you can have the hunger for that means also the satisfaction for that hunger exists. Otherwise, this game of life would be a torture if you could have a hunger for something, but you could not satisfy that hunger. If you could have a desire, but you could not satisfy that desire. So for every hunger you have, if you have the hunger for pizza, you can satisfy it by eating a pizza. If you have the hunger for a burger, you can satisfy it by eating a burger. If you have the desire for financial abundance, you can satisfy that by experiencing, by dwelling in the state of financial abundance, right? By aligning with that state, by seeing the world through that lens, by dwelling in the mood, in the feeling state, in that experience of what it would be like if you would have more than enough money. So you can also satisfy every desire that arises in you because that state, that portion of creation does exist, right? So what we need to do is basically we need to internally align to that state, to that self-concept, to that identity of ourselves, that hidden identity, which is basically hidden in the depths of our own consciousness, right? Which is basically veiled right now. We have to reveal it. But that version of us that exists or that we desire is simply a hidden identity, an unoccupied state, right? So we have to shift into that state, align with it, and then once we are in that state, we see the circumstances that come with that state. But right now, if you're on that level of consciousness, so to speak, we can only ever experience also everything that is, correlating, so to speak, with that level of consciousness. So we need to rise to the next level of consciousness where our desires are no longer desires, but where our desires is our natural lived reality. So you're free to choose the concept you will accept of yourself, right? You have the free will to select, to occupy, to dwell in, and to identify yourself with any desired state. That is your freedom, right? And that is a very great freedom. And you should appreciate that because on this level, and also Neville said this, you do not really have free will because so many things happen automatically. Look at your day-to-day life, how many things you just do. You just go there, you do this without working out every little step along the way. You just do them, right? And this is how it works. In consciousness, that is where you make the selection. That is where you make the shift. You place your inner man, your inner woman, your inner self in the wish fulfilled, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. So you place the second you, not the external you. That is bound to what is happening right now. That acknowledges and sees the current circumstances. Okay, so what? That's fine. That's not final. But you can place the inner you in that state of the wish fulfilled because creation is finished, so that state exists. Dwell there internally within consciousness, and then the inner you basically pulls the outer you towards it, right? Because consciousness doesn't like a vacuum. So if you within already dwell in the wish fulfilled, but in the outside you still see the old stuff, consciousness wants to close that. Circumstances will reshuffle themselves so that you end up on the outside where you first positioned yourself on the inside. This process of rising from your present state, okay, to your higher state of yourself is the means of all true progress. The higher concept, the higher identity, the higher state, this version of you that you desire, right? Your dream life, your desired version of you that has the new circumstances is waiting for you to incarnate it in the world of experience, right? So it's not that you need to try to become that and on the outside work. No, every true action is only done in consciousness. The outer action is always automatic and follows the inner shift, the inner decision that you've already made. And then on the outside, you will basically act under compulsion to always be where you first shifted to within, wittingly or unwittingly, right? But the cool part again is that your desired reality, the higher concept, the new circumstances, all of that is waiting for you. It is already there. Creation is finished. You can take a deep breath. You can relax in the knowing that your desired circumstance, whatever it is that you desire right now, is in existence, right? And if it is truly relevant for you, if it is a true desire for you, if you really have this burning desire to manifest it, then the likelihood for you to actually persist in being that version right now, in imagining yourself into it, in imagining something that implies you already have achieved that desire right now, to dwell in the fulfillment so that the desire dies because you're dwelling in the fulfillment of that desire within, the likelihood is high for you that you do that and that you will therefore also manifest the desire, right? So imagine yourself to be the ideal you dream of and desire. Remain attentive to this imagined state. And as fast as you completely feel that you are already this ideal, it will manifest itself as reality in your world. So what you right now call reality will basically transcend, and then the new reality will basically appear. But it doesn't mean that the old reality is no longer in existence. It's actually still there. You've just shifted. You, the projector, you, the awareness, you, the consciousness, you've shifted your light. You basically have, you started to shine it on a new image, and then the projector projects out the new image on the screen of space. You've basically selected a new identity. You've shifted into a new state within, and then that state is projected out and externalized in your world, right? But again, it will manifest itself. That's not your job to... It's actually not your job to manifest. It's your job to select, to dwell in the wish fulfilled, to remain there, to make it natural, so that the hunger is fully satisfied. You're no longer desiring. If you make that with an imagination session, with imagining a scene, with a decision, with I remember when, with giving thanks, whatever you use, every method only leads to you being in the fulfillment of what you previously desired, and now it is an accepted truth for you, and then it can also show up automatically, right? So once it's done within, you will no longer ask even, when is it going to happen? What can I do to speed it up? If your wish is fulfilled within, then you no longer even try to make it happen. And then remember, the manifestation is only the consequence of that wish fulfilled. It's never determining. The manifestation is not the wish fulfilled, right? That's not indicating something. No, the circumstances are just neutral reflections, right? Or neutral appearances, and we project meaning into them, but actually they're neutral. And depending on who we are within, that is what is going to show up, and that is how we're going to judge things that are happening on the outside world, so to speak, which is actually also within us. It's also just a projection in our own consciousness that we see with our senses. But I don't want to make it too complicated right now. For you, relevant is that you should imagine yourself to be the ideal here and now, right? And what you do with imagination is that is fusing with your senses are basically bound to the current version of you that experiences the lack, having not having the money, not having the partner, not having the health, not having the car, not having the new lifestyle. You see that. Okay. Instead of fighting against that, you acknowledge that. You understand that creation is finished. You don't fight against what is. And you within only stay true to and align yourself with and select that new version, right? That ideal. And you remain attentive to that state. You return back to it. If you notice that your reactions are, again, coming from lack, coming from not having it, then you relax and you gently maneuver in the wish fulfilled again. And that's already it, right? So that is a very powerful thing for you to understand, that your desired self does exist. It's not your job to try to create it. It's only your job to understand that the fact that you desire it means it is available, and you can internally fuse with it by imagining yourself in it, by applying one of the methods that I also talk about in my program. There are members who share amazing successes. Every day I see some successes, some updates revelations. People really like up level their journey when it comes to manifestation. The good thing is that I've been doing this for years. I've been working with hundreds of people. In our community, there are hundreds of people. So it is really a great network, and you can really see, wow, which pitfalls to avoid so that you can accelerate your journey and you don't do all the mistakes and you don't take so long, right? So I invite you to join us today. You will find the link for that in the video description. Thank you for watching, guys. I truly love making that for you. And again, I'm so hyped up sometimes because I really want you to understand this. If that becomes internalized and embodied knowledge and not just something you see is like a nice concept, but then you go back to your dull life, but you actually empower yourself, you actually put that in the test, in the practice, and the application, you will see that your life changes. And I invite you to do that, and I invite you to join us so that I can help you with that you stay on the right course, that you stay empowered, because having the right people around you is a completely game changer. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.